Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Another day. It is Sunday, guys. Sunday. It's supposed to be a quiet day, but it never is a quiet day when Manchester United are in town. Of course not, guys. There's always dramas when it comes to this football club, and not least on a Sunday where it's supposed to be peaceful. And whatever we're doing, whether we're going to church, whether we're making a Sunday roast, it doesn't matter because it's all about Manchester United, guys. Absolutely. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to smash a like. Before I start, guys, let's get straight into it. Of course, I want to bring in the daily Imbremo news, Imbumo news. The daily Imbumo news, like the daily Imbumo news. I should actually have a small segment on this channel in regards to Imbumo, guys. I really should, shouldn't I? Now, look, Imbumo, of course, Manchester United did say that the 7th of July is the day that we will walk away like Craig David, or we're going to, proceed. I mean, look, at the end of the day, listen, just glad you get the deal done. I personally think there should be some news next week of a positive kind, right? So the problem with what Ineos are doing at the moment, as I've always said, is that they're very, very they've got their cards close to their chest. They don't really expose anything and reassure the fans. The reason they should reassure the fans is because obviously we came 15th last season and we want to know what's going on with our team. We want to know what's going to be happening with our football club at the end of the day. Now, we've got lots of problems at this football club. Obviously, the players, Marcus Rashford removing the Manchester United name from his social media pages. You shouldn't really do that until you've actually left the football club. That's the whole point of things. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of respect works both ways at the end of the day, guys. And people are looking at it from a different, sinister point of view, stupid point of view, in my opinion, at the end of the day, guys. And idiots. Absolutely. But yeah, look, you know what? Guys, and Bumo transfer, hopefully, we're just waiting on it, and it's driving me crazy. It's driving you crazy. It's driving us all absolutely mad, guys. Now, in regards to the 5 players that were transfer listed a couple of days ago, of course, they were required to transfer this. Apparently, they were told that they're no longer needed at the football club, so they can hand in a transfer request, okay? So they handed in a transfer request. Now, these 5 players will be players that we could possibly sell, which will be reinvested into the team. Now, don't expect 5 players out, 5 players in. That's not going to happen at Man United. I know it should happen. It really should happen, but that's not going to really happen. Manchester United could quite possibly use the funds of the players that we sold to buy a striker. So that striker could be an Osimhen. That striker could be a Gyökeres. Osimhen has been lighting up recently this last couple of days in regards to the news about him, Manchester United. He wants to go to Manchester United, etc. Now, I take everything with a pinch of salt when it comes to Osimhen because I've heard a lot of conflicting stories in regards to Osimhen. But as I've always said, whilst these players are still available, there's still a possibility, given that Manchester United need a striker. Of course, Liverpool need a striker as well. That is obviously something to remember. And Liverpool are very shrewd in the transfer market, of course, as well. So we have to be wary of what Liverpool are doing as well. And we have to act quickly in regards to Liverpool. Now, this story is coming out about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, guys, no thank you. Absolutely not. I don't want anything to do with Calvert-Lewin. I don't care if he's a free transfer. He's not good enough. Right? Now, I don't believe this story. I tell you what, I don't believe the story about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I don't. And people, I don't know whether it's someone trying to irritate the Man United fan base or something like that, but I just don't trust these stories. Absolutely not. Manchester United are looking for a striker. This is why we're going to get rid of a number of players so we can purchase a striker. Unfortunately, our squad is going to be significantly smaller next season. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. Sancho hardly didn't play for Man United last season. Rashford didn't play for Man United last season. Malacia didn't play for Man United last season. Anthony didn't play for Man United last season. Of course, so, at the end of the day, and the only one is Garnacho. We're going to be less. So it is 1 for 1, really, when you think about if we get rid of 5 and we bring in 1. So those 4 players there, we didn't really miss. At the end of the day, well, we did in a way. We didn't have a squad, but we didn't really miss in a way that, they didn't play for us last season. So at the end of the day, it's really not 5 for 1. It's really about 1 for 1 because Garnacho played a lot of games last season, isn't it? So that is the thing. So Man United will be looking to reinvest the money that they receive from the sales into a striker. Hopefully, the Mbumo deal will be wrapped up as quickly as anything, and hopefully, we can move on. Finally, guys. Absolutely. Let's get into some of your comments, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see everyone in the chat, guys. Good to see everyone in the chat. Big up, Gav. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Nothing changes on the pitch. Absolutely. Big up, UK Rap. How you doing? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Dabisas, good morning. How you doing? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Bill, morning all. Big up, Bill. How you doing? Big up, Helge. What's going on, my friend? The legend. Salinho looking slick as always. You likewise, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you in the community, mate. Good to see you too, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, brother. Hope you're good. Dabizaz, Sal, news about Musiala. His injury looked great. Yeah, absolutely devastating. This is what I mean about this tournament. This is always going to happen. These players play European football at a competitive level for all year. They don't need this World Club Championship. And look, added to the fact, the best teams are not even in it. When I look at the World Club Championship, they've gone by the logic that over the last 4 years, the most successful football clubs go into the World Club Championship. That shouldn't be the case. It should be the overall most successful teams in each country. Yeah, because this is the inaugural tournament, isn't it? The first one of the World Club Championship. So it should be, okay, who are the two most successful clubs in England? Liverpool and Man United. Those two should be in the tournament. They're not there right now. Barcelona are not in the World Club Championship. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. They're just going by recency bias. That's why I have no respect for this tournament. I'm sorry. And I don't think this tournament should have been played anyway. You've got players like Musiala now whose career is going to be destroyed by this injury. I know how that injury is. That injury has happened a lot of times. It is a horrible injury and very, very hard to get back from. And I feel sorry for the lad, and I wish him a speedy recovery. It's a devastating injury, of course, and such a ridiculous sort of way it happened as well. And that is usually how it is. That's usually what happens, when you have these type of injuries. They just happen, at the blue, like you weren't least expected. Of course. Good morning, Natty. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Negotiating small money, pay the money, and move on. Absolutely. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Big up, Bill. Do you watch the Bayern vs PSG? I watched snippets of it, Bill. I didn't really watch the full match. I'm not really interested in it to the final. I'll probably watch the final probably, but I'm not really interested in it because I don't believe that the best teams are in it. I'm sorry, but I don't. I believe that the best teams in England, the best should be Liverpool and Man United, and they should be going into this tournament. Not teams that have been good for the last 4 years. It should be the teams that have been overall the best teams in the country. You know what I mean? To start off this World Club Championship, in my opinion. I watched a bit of it. PSG are phenomenal. PSG are an absolutely brilliant football team. I have a lot of respect for the way PSG have done their business, have done their things, and built their football club. And how have they got to that level? Ownership. It's taken time, but ownership. They got it right. An ownership that wants to invest in the football team, doesn't want a penny pinch, doesn't want to walk to the right decision and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. A proper ownership. They're brilliant, Qatar. Absolutely. And look, they're a great football team, probably the best team in the world at the moment, of course. And managed to beat Bayern Munich with 10 men, didn't they? 9 men at the end of the day. So they're hot favourites for the tournament, most definitely. Chelsea got through, unfortunately. They're going to be paying, I think it's £1, isn't it? So, it might be a Chelsea final. I think it could be a Chelsea final with Real Madrid or PSG, one of them sort of games, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want Chelsea to win it, absolutely not. And undeservingly in that tournament. It's ridiculous how Chelsea could be in that tournament. They have made 61 million so far in this tournament. That's unfair, isn't it, guys? They get chosen, you know what I mean? It is unfair. 61 million, yet they've got FFP and PSR charges on their head as well. Madness, isn't it? Natty, Sal, what do you think of some players did not like the brief? They want to leave. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care. Look, if players don't like what is going on at this football club, then I think they should just be shown the door as well. At the end of the day, listen, you were part of the worst Manchester United football team in history. And people will throw at me 1974. Don't throw at me 1974 because that 1974 team would destroy this team, right? So what I would say is this, right? They were part of the worst Manchester United football team in history. I don't want to be hearing anything and any support about spoiled brats in the midst. I don't care about, petulance. I don't care about anything. I'll care about the football club, Manchester United. I don't care if you're Mank, born and bred. I don't give a damn about that. At the end of the day, you're a prat. You're a prat. That is the way it is at the end of the day. For me, that is the way I see things. Unfortunately, people see things in a different light. They say, oh, poor Mark, poor Rashi, why are you being so mean to him? Why are you being so mean? Stop being so mean to Rashi. That's what it is, you know? And I can't be bothered with the petulance, you know, forgetting about the way when Ruben Amram walked in and he walked into training with stomach cramps because he was partying the night before and he was sent home by Ruben Amram in his first week. So what are they talking about, these idiots? You know, they don't have the best interest of the football club at heart, do they? Absolutely not. Big up, Natty. Imagine telling Amram in April, when we return to Carrington, we have bought one player, and Anthony, Rash, Santo, and Ghana is still United players. Same squad, one player bought, still sold. Shambles. It is a shambles, but predictable. Surprise, surprise. Still a black, of course. This is the situation that we're facing right now, and this is the situation of Ineos. Manchester United needed a full sale, and this is what we needed. We didn't get that because a lot of people out there thought that it best that Man United, you know what, have the Ineos in charge. I cannot fathom why. I cannot, you know, they might as well just tell me the truth, though, isn't it? Why didn't you want Qatar? I'm still waiting for the answer. Why didn't you want Qatar? Don't give me this virtual signaling, you know, human rights malarkey, you know, at the end of the day. Tell me, why didn't you want Qatar? Tell me, what was the real reason? Come on. You know, you can tell me. GK, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Where is our preseason? Where we get practice or friendly matches? Man United, first preseason friendly is in America on the 19th of July against Leeds United, my friend. We should take Jay Fletcher on top flight, and Bruno should be on not say that CDM. Helge, Rashford in the mud with removing United from his bio and new pick of him working hard in the mud. Remember his quotes to Henry Winter. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. He's the one who he's still employed. He's still an employee of Man United, and he's making bloody interviews with other journalists talking about Barcelona and how he loves Lamine Yamal and how he loves this and how he loves that. Anything but Man United at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Ridiculous, you know, and people forget this short memory syndrome, what he's done. You know what I mean? They just think about, oh, boy, why are you getting so mad for? Leave him alone. Oh, leave him alone. You know what I mean? Well, listen, just stop backing your guy, you know, because he looks like you, because stop these sinister little reasons that you keep doing, you know what I mean, that you're not looking at the football pitch and the behaviour of players. And this is the cultural problem at Manchester United, running from the top all the way to the bottom. Stop doing that. You can't piss on us and tell me it's raining, guys, at the end of the day, because this is what these people are. No, they don't. They're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Natty, absolutely not. If they sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we are finished. Absolutely. When I leave, it's going to be no hard feelings. You're not going to have any negative comments from me about Manchester United. That's me as a person. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And what happened? What's going on? Exactly. Contradictions. If I knew that situation already bad, I'm not going to make it worse. I've seen how other players left in the past, and I don't want to be that person. And there we are. Here we are today, Elge. Absolutely. Yeah, his brother got involved. Yeah, well, he's got to stop being like a bitch and stop being run by his brother. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I bet we're going to be sign Schneider before we sign in Bremo Low. We'll sign Patrick Kluivert before we sign in Bumo, guys. Absolutely. We make Snells look like Lewis Hamilton. Big up, my friend. Slim for Christie. Absolutely. Some fans are a problem of the club. They are player FC, whether they support the club or players. This is the problem. Is that exactly the problem? They have these sentimental, mushy little feelings towards certain players that I don't have. I have mushy little feelings towards Manchester United Football Club. That's what I have, not certain players. You know, at the end of the day, I don't care, because at the end of the day, these are not Roy Keane. This is not Eric Cantona. This is not Steve Bruce, Ryan Giggs. This is a guy who's a representation of how many managers in the last 15 years? How many managers is it? Again, remind me, you know, exactly. So at the end of the day, this guy has been around since all those seconds of all those managers and all that underperforming and all that talking. You know, all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? That we even, you know, people are even defending this. I mean, just because, it's Mank born and bred. Exactly why we got Jim Ratcliffe, was his exact mentality. Mank born and bred, Chelsea fan, mate. He's a Chelsea fan. That's why he's so obsessed with Chelsea. Ridiculous. Absolutely. And in regards to fans losing their patience, fans are losing their patience. They have every right to lose their patience. Look, as I said, I'm hosting this show, so I got to be a little bit balanced in my opinions, and a little bit looking at things from a very fair point of view in regards to what is going on at the football club. Now, I would say that Manchester United in June have notoriously never done business. That's good. That's true. That's very true, right? But I would also add that Man United have never come 15th place, and Man United need players to improve because we are rightly worried about this football club. We are worried about this football club. Of course, we're worried about this football club. Everyone has every right to be worried about this football club. Because I look at the football team and I think if Man United signed in Bumo, alongside Cunha, and add the striker to the mix, I think that will make a huge difference to Manchester United. I think having those three alone up front, right? If you sign, look, let's for argument's sake, we did get Osimhen through the door. Imagine having Cunha and Bumo and Osimhen, or Cunha and Bumo and Gyökeres. Imagine having that. Just that trio right there. Oh, that would be fire. In my opinion, it'd be one of the most potent strike forces, attacking forces in world football. It's so underrated. People talk about Chelsea. Oh, but Chelsea signing loads of players. They signed João Pedro, right? Cunha and Mbumo are better than João Pedro. I would argue that Cunha and Mbumo are better than Florian Wirtz at the moment, more proven, in my opinion. But that's just me. He plays in the Bundesliga. That's what I'm saying about that. But what I would say is that we have the potential. We have the potential. And like I've always said in the past, it just takes a spark, doesn't it, to ignite something great. It just takes a spark to ignite something amazing. That is all it takes, guys. And it doesn't take rocket science. It doesn't take 15 players. It takes the right players at the right, in the right positions. You know what I mean? I don't want to see players being shoehorned into certain positions next season. I really don't. I want to see players playing in their correct positions. I want to go into next season thinking, oh, I'm ready for this season. I want to be doing that next season. You know what I mean? I want Ruben Amorim to have a fighting chance because let's put it like this. Ruben Amorim, right, is ultimately going to be judged in his first 10 games. He's going to be judged, right? In the first 10 games, we got Man City, we got Arsenal, we got Liverpool, guys. Come on, alone. Do you know what I mean? And he's going to be judged on that. He's going to be judged on that. We got Man City. He's going to be judged on that. And ultimately, he's going to be judged on those opening 10 games. Let's face it. And he could quite possibly lose his job in the opening 10 games. That is a real possibility, guys. So why not back this manager, getting prepared for the gruesome opening few games of the season, rather than just leaving him out to dry? I cannot believe that anyone would be as insane to bring a manager like Ruben Amorim in and not back him. Especially looking at those for opening fixtures, starting with Arsenal, of course. Big up, Natty. Good morning, Ellen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Sammy. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, Kenny. What's going on? Really sad for Musiala. I mean, at the end of the day, really sad for Musiala. Yeah, sad. Really bad. Wishing for a speedy recovery. I hope so as well, mate. You don't want to see that in any player, especially a young player. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely brilliant player as well. Sanjay, big up, everyone. Hope you're doing well, Sanjay. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. We need to find a Vitinha. Brilliant player, Vitinha. Absolutely. That would be brilliant. I mean, I don't know why we slept on him. We were linked with him a couple of times before we went to PSG. But you know what? That's Man United these days, isn't it? Coco, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. 1 year to recover, 1 year to get back to the top, maybe for Musi. Sad, isn't it, Coco? It's just you don't want to see that. You really don't. It's a bit like a vase. You smash a vase and you like sort of pull it back together with glue. It's never the same, is it? At the end of the day, and I've seen this happen, unfortunately, to many players in the past. Absolutely, it's happened to Man United players as well, of course. Unfortunately. Hopefully it's not as bad as first fall. I mean, I remember when Man United played Coventry City in the 90s and there was that player called David Bust and it ruined his career. That was far worse, of course. But you know what? That sort of injury, I mean, it's really sad, isn't it? But it's part of football. The one thing I would say is that this tournament was unnecessary. As I've said at the top of the show, the tournament is unnecessary. This tournament shouldn't be going ahead. Ridiculous timing. Unfair on other teams who haven't got a fair advantage in regards to teams who should be there, and other teams getting a big bunch of money is really unfair for them, because we didn't know about this tournament 4 years ago, did we? At the end of the day. So, yeah, really sad, and I hope he gets better and stronger, and I wish him all the best, of course. Helge, I think Calvert-Lewin reports are tier 15 papers, absolutely, and Journey not doing it. It's a rage bait and a very easy rumor to put out there. We are incompetent, but not that incompetent, lazy rumors. One thing I would say, Helge, is that there was rumors about Dominic Calvert-Lewin about a couple of years ago. I mean, a year ago, when Ineos just walked in. I took it like a pinch of salt back then. I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's a free transfer, great. He's injury prone, guys. He's injury prone. When you look at Dominic Calvert-Lewin and, you look at his injury list, right? I'm gonna read you out Dominic Calvert-Lewin injury record, guys. So his injury record. Let's read this, right? Let me see. Calvert. So let me just read this, right? So Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injury record, guys. It's not only about if he's a good player or not, guys. It's not only about that. I wanna read out his injury record. So let's read this out. Wait, let me go there. Right, here we go. Let me just get this up. So injury history. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injury history. Right, let's go all the way back. Goodness me, there's pages of it, guys. There's pages of it. Right, let's go back to 2018. 69 days back injury. Okay, 69 days. 17, 18. 18, 19, 27 days. Bruise. Goodness me. 25 days. Muscle injury. Must be that handbag keep hitting on his side. 2021 muscle injury, 25 days. 126 days broken toe. Okay? All right, I'm going to only read out the long ones, the big absences, okay? 126 days, 21-22 with a broken toe, okay? 61 days, 2 months with a knee injury in 22-23. 54 days, the same season, 22-23 with a hamstring injury. 76 days, same season, 22-23 with a hamstring injury. Same hamstring injury, same season, 22-23. 32 days with the same hamstring injuries, guys. 18 days, 23, 24, fitness, 26 days, broken cheekbone. Goodness me. Look, most recent one was a hamstring injury, 24, 25, 100 days. That was in 24, 25 in January. Guys, look, 100 days. So it's quite obvious that Calvert-Lewin has an injury record, a hamstring problem up to the ceiling, isn't it? It's quite obvious. And it would be absolutely insane for Man United to go anywhere near this player. Absolutely madness, ridiculous. And they would represent that we've never learned from our mistakes, of course. Anthony Taylor must have watched Michael Oliver's shambolic refereeing. Anthony Taylor's a terrible referee, Kenny. I've said it many, many times. One of those referees that are against Man United. We know about Anthony Taylor from his past that, he's not really pro Man United, as is obviously Michael Oliver as well, of course. So, English referees have a lot to be desired and they get backed. I don't know why they get backed. We need a huge revamp in regards to the refereeing in England. Definitely, because the refereeing is shambolic, the refereeing is inconsistent, favoritism, something sinister like that. Do you know what I mean? And I would say that Man United the Premier League need to think about employing different referees. I would always say that Man United. Why do I keep saying Man United? I would always say that the Premier League need to start employing foreign referees. Like players come in from other countries. I think referees should come in from other countries. I think the Premier League should be able to sign referees. I think remember Pierluigi Collina? You remember that referee right there? Fantastic referee. A referee like that. Imagine it. Referees get signed from Spain or Italy. It adds more respect and prestige. And referees should be, judged and voted and scored on performances as well. And relegated and promoted, and fined and this and that. This is what they should be doing so that they make sure that they get, the right thing. I think referees should be on a player level, so basically performance-based refereeing. That's what we should be. So in the contracts, you get that wrong, it's going to go down to the stats and Opta index and all that. It's going to go down to that, and we're going to see how this referee performed, and the referee will get a score. It should be like that. And there should be a league of referees as well. So when the league of the referee comes out, if you're bottom of the league, you're going down, the championship referee will come up. It will give an incentive, some kind of incentive for these referees to improve, Don't like the brief. Well, we don't like unauthorized interviews, freedom tweets, wearing Villa shirts, showing up late for training, refusing to play a left back. Deal with that brief. Absolutely held. Spot on. My guy is absolutely set off an absolute bomb, guys. Absolutely there. That is exactly what I'm talking about for my guy held. Brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely. Great comment. It's absolutely true. You know, treat us fans like idiots. Treat us fans like we don't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're fools. It's ridiculous. Rashford didn't fulfill his potential at all. 2 decent seasons out of 10 ain't good enough. I know. And I don't understand why people are so up this guy's backside. I don't know why, guys. They just are so like, oh, poor Rashford, poor him. Come on, man. Wake up and smell the bloody coffee, for goodness sake, and look at the whole situation. Do you know what I mean? And this is the problem, you know, with many fans. Randy, fans, I'll say quotation marks. Moaning Sal, what's going on Light Shaw, not on the list with the other 5? Randall, Luke Shaw does something really miraculous every time, this time of year. It's really weird, you know? It's a bit like a butterfly. Well, not a butterfly. What is it? A caterpillar. So basically a caterpillar will go in hibernation. This is exactly what Luke Shaw does. Luke Shaw goes into hibernation every summer so that he disappears from the radar, so that no one remembers Luke Shaw. Like, who is Luke Shaw? Who's Luke Shaw? Never heard of him. So that, you know what, they don't think about, we could possibly sell Luke Shaw. That would be a good one. But he's nowhere to be seen. So, you know, he will go in hibernation. He would disappear. He should be vying to lead the football club. But here's the thing. As with every time, every 4 years, his hibernation period will end every 4 years. And he will come out as a butterfly. And he will play every single game around March, around springtime. Every 4 years. Why? Because he wants to play for England. And he wants to play in the World Cup or the European Championships. Every couple of years, let's say. Yeah. So he comes out, he's a butterfly, he plays every game, and you know what? He's fit for the World Cup, miraculously fit for the World Cup, miraculously fit for the European Championships. That is his Luke Shaw to a T, isn't it? And that is the culture and the mentality that I'm talking about at this football club. You know, the wrongness, the wrong. I want to erase this mentality from this football club, this laziness, this deceiving, the manipulation. I want to erase this from this football club. We're fed up with it, and the fans shouldn't fall for it. It's ridiculous. We needed that, definitely, Charles. We needed Qatar. It would have been a lot better right now, unfortunately. Rashford fans, Glazer inners. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Deron, good morning. Can't see anyone taking Rashford after him proclaiming he only wants Barcelona. They don't want him. Now we're going to get rid of him. Mutual termination of contract, methinks. There's going to have to be something like that. The problem is that will Marcus Rashford dig his heels in and say, I want my full contract paid? Thank you very much. Is he going to do that? Can Man United afford that at this moment in time? He could possibly do that. My bet is that I can see him going on loan. I really can see him going on loan. It's not going to benefit us, but if we can get his wages paid off and get him out of the football club, that will be good, of course, guys. Absolutely. Helge, I've been working for years in commercial marketing PR. I wish people knew how it truly works. 67% of the Rashid FC people on Twitter are legit PR team. It's not real people. I wish people knew. I know that, Elge. Someone told me in the UAE, actually, I met this Man United fan in the UAE, and we went to a bar, and I was talking to him, and he said that anyone who criticizes Marcus Rashford, you've got to be careful with his entourage, his PR team. They've said that. And we were talking about, and he's very in the know with Marcus Rashford. Very in the know. He was talking about the stomach cramps when he went to training on Ruben Amram's first week of training, and then, you know what, had to be sent home, right? Because he was partying the night before. You know, these sort of things, the gambling addict, you know, these sort of things. People don't want to look at that at the end. They just want to look at it from their own narrative, from sinister point of views, from player FC point of views. And as you said there, Helge, people do have PR teams. Man City have a PR team. Man City don't have real fans on Twitter. You say something about Man City, you will see hundreds of tweets coming your way that are like, basically, you know what, bots. Purchase bots. And that's what it is at the end of the day. You know, it's a bit like the Marcus Rashford PR team. So I ignore it. I just ignore it. When I get all these these Marcus Rashford tweets coming at me, I completely ignore it, and I don't have nothing to do with it. Smash the likes and subscribe. Thank you, Natty, you legend. Thank you, mate. The best PR teams in the world, like Rashi's, have an intricate web of thousands of users, bots, Xbox users, not Xbox, X users, absolutely. Insta users to control narrative online. People argue with people working for him. It's spot on. Helge, people will think this doesn't happen. You're naive. This happens, mate. This is spot on. This is what happens. I know it as a guy in the music industry for a very long time. I know this kind of thing has been going on for years. You know, it does go on. And at the end of the day, I know when these bots come at me, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, mate. Mute. I don't see your... Listen, let me tell trolls something right now. Let me tell you trolls something, right? When I started Stretford Post, and you know what, I had a whole barrage of trolls because I interviewed Jason McAteer, ex-Liverpool player, because someone said horrible things to his family and stuff like that. But I interviewed him, right? Maybe I shouldn't have done it. Maybe I should have. Whatever happens, right? At the end of the day, it was a normal interview, all right, about trolls and how football rivalry goes too far, right? A bit like this, right? We had a tragedy this week with obviously Diogo Jota. We care for Diogo Jota, even though he plays for Liverpool, right? But we had people at that time, right, when I was interviewing Jason McAteer, right, that were saying that I hope your dies of, you know what I mean, and things like that, you know, very bad things. And I said, oh, that's how I thought he shouldn't go that far. And then obviously I interviewed ex-Liverpool player, and people slandered me for it. Since then, people have got to know me. The people who hated me over these years have suddenly become my friends. Why? Because they know I'm not a sinister guy. They know I'm not a bitter guy. They know I love the football club. They know I'm a balanced in my opinion. They know I don't just, I'm not toxic positivity. I'm not toxic negativity. I call things as they are. And they got to know me. And unfortunately, there's some stubborn few that will still hate you regardless. They're jealous, you know, they get their little tweets, they get their few likes, and they think they're smart. And that is unfortunate, you know. At the end of the day, I haven't got to know the person, you know, and that is what it is. This happens, you know, again, I saw a lot of bots then, I'm seeing a lot of bots now in regards to Marcus Rashford. You know, and you know, the thing is, I criticized Rashford. All I said on my tweet, all I said was stay classy, with a picture of his social media, which he's removed Man United from. And people go crazy. You see how triggered they are? You see how triggered they are? Stay classy. I could actually mean that generally, really, couldn't I? Maybe I'm just telling them to stay classy. You're the man. I could be saying that, really, innit? I could be really saying that, right? But look at them, jumping on it, triggered. You know what I mean? Player FC, bot FC. That's what it is at the end of the day. Kevin, good morning. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Dominic Calvin, is this true? I'm pissed off. I don't think it's true, Kevin. Don't believe the rumors. Don't believe the hype. Of course, don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. It's not true. What I would say. Don't believe any of that. It's just there to design, as my guy Held said there, it's just there to design to destabilize the Manchester United fan base. I even put it in my thumb now. I'm not going to do that, guys, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin represent. We couldn't go even further back, innit? How far back can we go? We're going, my goodness me, we're going further back than Flex's hairline, for goodness me. I don't want to go back there, guys. That is really back. His hairline goes back to 1999 season. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Sorry, Flex. At the end of the day. So, you know what? No chance, man. Absolutely not. João Pedro ain't even good. Another hit and miss player. Cunha and Mbeumo are better than João Pedro. I would say that. I think Cunha and Mbeumo are highly underrated, and they will prove to be the best players, best signings next season, in my opinion. I think Florian Wirtz will take time to settle down. I do. I think he will do well eventually, but I think he'll take time to settle down. But next season, I think that Mbeumo and Cunha are the ones, of course, guys. Absolutely. Kevin, I hope not. Big up, my friend. Big up. Natty, I do not want with this transfer is started only competent club will buy players ASAP. Unfortunately, we are a business club. Didn't Louis van Gaal say that Man United are a business, a commercial club, a business club? And we never were that. We were Manchester United Football Club. Maybe it's about time we put that back on our crest, isn't it? Football club, isn't it? You know, Kenny. Even on KG's channel, they were saying 10 games or you're gone for 5. Yeah, exactly, Kenny. Kenny, he's got Arsenal. He's got Man City. He's got Chelsea, right? He's got Liverpool in the opening 10 games. Not to mention Fulham away and teams and, you know, teams of that ilk. You know, let's look at our Man United's fixture list. Okay, let's look at Man United's fixture list. I'm going to have a look at this. Okay, let me see if I still got it here first. Let's look at Man United's fixture list. All right, I'm going to have a look at that. All right, let's have a look. So, right. Fixture list. Fixtures 25-26. Okay. So, Manchester United have Arsenal in the first game, right? Then it's Fulham away. Then Burnley, which we should win. Then we got Man City away. Then we got Chelsea at home. Then we got Brentford away, which notoriously we haven't done good in over the years, right? Then we got Brentford away, right? Then we've got Liverpool. No, we got Sunderland at home, which is okay. Then we got Liverpool. Then we got Brighton. Then we got Tottenham. We got Forest away as well. In our opening 10 games, guys. You know, and then we got obviously at Villa. We got one of the hardest opening fixture lists there is. You know, and then this is the thing. And then people are not going to look at this thing, right? They're not going to look at Ruben Amorim and say, well, he wasn't backed in the summer. They're going to forget about that because they've already made up their choice in regards to Ruben Amorim. They've already decided they don't want Ruben Amorim and they're not intelligent enough to change their opinion. So what they're going to do is after 10 games, they'll go, he's not the guy. No. They're not going to think about, oh, he wasn't backed by Ineos. They're not going to think that, are they? This is exactly what we were saying in January. We said it in January, and lo and behold, we actually predicted the final of the Europa League in January. Scroll back to the old streams in January. You will see us saying Manchester United will lose 1-0 to Tottenham. They'll score Tottenham, and we won't be able to score. We need a striker this January. We said that in January, guys, and they didn't back him. This is what's going to happen next season when Ruben Amorim starts the season. Right, and then he starts, and then everyone's going to be like, "Oh, Ruben Amorim, oh, he's a problem. He's a Portuguese fraud," and all this rubbish that they're going to be splurting out of their absolutely over cholesterol gums. Do you know what I mean? It's madness, man. Absolutely. Darren, what's going on? We need another 180 players to match Chelsea's. Absolutely, we need a bus of players, mate. Big up, Darren. Amorim hasn't even got backed. We're going to say hasn't been backed once. And people talk about, oh, we got Diego Dorgu, he got Dorgu. That was organised a year ago, by the way. Let me just tell you that. Mentioned it on the channel already. Yeah, you know what? I would say that he's only got Cunha so far. Is that going to make the difference? You know, they need a lot more, Man United. We know. But I would say that if Man United managed to get in Cunha, a striker, and by the 19th of July, I would think that, you know, he can at least work on the attacking side of things, on the goal scoring side of things. Because I actually think our defense isn't bad. I think our midfield is suspect, but I think that the front line will be dangerous. That will be a proper front line. And we might have to just obliterate teams. And that's what I hope will happen. You know what I mean? GK, we need to test our 25-man squad. Amorim has to make his top 25 squad for the whole season. Strong 25. Absolutely. Hey, JK, big up. I bet we're going to get signed Snyder before we sign him. But yeah, Red Dove, big up, baby. Be Patrick Kluivert, as I said. Good morning, British Bulldog. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, of course. Our fans are not patient. It will be difficult. We have to give managers. We need to see style of play. Otherwise, it will be difficult for managers and players to settle. Need time. We all know that we are in for Mbeumo, but is any confirmation of any other players we are definitely in for. This is the problem, mate, Bill. This is the problem. Man United are not solidifying any bid for any player at the moment, right? Man United are focused primarily on Mbeumo deal, and when the Mbeumo deal goes through, as we've always said, we're going to move on to the next player. Man United are wheeling and dealing in the background with players leaving the football club, but not bringing them in. Mbeumo is the player that, you know, we are working on at the moment. All our eggs in one basket at the moment, and it's unacceptable. We should be working on multiple deals at one time. As other clubs can do that, why can't we do that? That's the thing, isn't it? At the end of the day, it hasn't changed, guys. But then again, you can look at things and say, maybe this is because we're run by the Glazers. Maybe it's because the Glazers are still running this football club. Maybe it's because the Glazers still own this football club, you know? Natty, why people talk about Rashford? He is not a player that we have talked about too much. He is at best decent. He's not even decent, mate. He's rubbish. Helge, it's crazy. Well, he's rubbish when he wants to be. He's good when he wants to be. And that means he's rubbish. Helge, it's crazy actually how Shaw has been allowed to do all this madness all these years. Imagine it was Martial, Pogba, Bruno, Anthony, whatever on the pitch. You know what? Martial did that for years as well, didn't he, Helge? And that was representation of what the football club was, isn't it? Didn't Jose Mourinho say that there was a couple of players there that when they get a little knock, they're missing for months, and there are other players who get proper injuries and still carry on playing. And he was talking in regards to Martial and Shaw at the time, absolutely. Helge. Shaw's PR has been to keep the name out of his mouth on pundits, journalists, papers for years. It's been studies. He needs to leave. Helge, great comment regarding Shaw. Big up, Sal. Do you think it's disrespect to give the number 10 jersey to Cunha while Rashford is still at the club? No. He don't own that number 10 shirt. What gives him the right for that number 10 shirt? You earn your corn in this game, at the end of the day. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Beckham lost his shirt. Then he number 10 shirt. Then he got to the number 7. Remember that? I don't really care what he wants, what he cares about. I don't care about any of those players, what they want, what they care about. At the end of the day, you haven't performed for Man United. You play when you want to play. You moan. You go to media outlets talking about the football club. You still employed too. Bigging up, flirting with Barcelona. What does that say? We are Manchester United. You are standing on the shoulders of giants. There's people who sacrifice their life for this football club. And you've got people who are organizing interviews, right? Putting the club into disrepute, right? When you're still an employee of the football club. Flirting with Barcelona and Bayern Munich and whoever you're flirting with. You know what I mean? Sal, do you have any music on IG? I have a music share page on IG. Would love to share anything for you. Yeah, I have everything on YouTube. REDZZ, mate. Just type REDZZ on YouTube. You'll see everything there. It's on iTunes, mate. Absolutely. It's all over there, mate, as well. So just type in REDZZ. You see an artist there named Reds. He's my brother. I managed him and I directed and edited most of the videos, guys. Thank you so much, British Bulldog. You legend. Natty. It's sweaty to give Cunha number 10 when Rashford was here. I don't care about what Rashford wants, to be honest with you. It was bad to get Matt Rashford to go for an interview, mate. That was what is bad is Rashford to go for an interview behind Man United's back and start flirting with Barcelona. All social media posts of any kind are controlled by bots. Convid was the best example. Absolutely, Lee. Shout out to Liverpool Football Club for what they did with Jota. Lies around me. Sal, morning. I haven't had enough. United have lost millions of transfers, paying managers off. Just pay these players contracts and get them off the. Enough is enough. Big up, lies around me. Spot on, my guy. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Absolutely. Helge, if you get the metaphor, I feel Rashford is ugly. Best friend staying best friends with the female who is too good for him. Just in case on a day she'll be desperate enough. Tragic. Big up, Helge. Big up, my friend. Morning, Sal. I'm late to the show. Have I missed anything? Yeah, you missed lots, Denbo. Don't worry. Scroll back, my friend. Smash a like and give it a share, please, brother. Thanks, man. By the way, I totally agree with you on the forward line. People have gotten way to Cunha and then Bremo to the point where they underestimate how insane our attack will be. We will surprise people. It's going to be insane, Helge. If we get those players through the door, it's going to be insane. It's going to be madness at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely. And I do believe it will be one of the most dangerous front lines in world football. Some people are going to tell me, Sal, you're being overly zealous. You're being overly enthusiastic. I do believe that. I think it's going to be incredible, especially if we add a striker to the mix, mate. If we add a striker to the mix, that's it. Is this a talk about Rashford show? This is a Manchester United show, Boxside. This is how it works. We talk about everything, just like we've been talking about in Bremo, Cunha, over this last, was it 40 minutes, 45 minutes? We've been talking about a lot of it. Luke Shaw, we've been talking about, mate. We've been talking about transfers. We've been talking about Calvert-Lewin. We've been talking about everyone, mate. I mean, just because you love Marcus Rashford and you're very, very emotionally attached to certain players, Player FC, don't just pick out your narrative, your little bit of segment of the show and say that we're targeting Marcus Rashford. No, we're reporting things. This is what we do. We talk about things as Manchester United fans. As a Man United fan for nearly 40 years, I talk about Marcus Rashford because I've witnessed legends at this football club. I talk about other players. We've spoken about Luke Shaw, guys. We've spoken about many players in our football team. We've even spoken about the strikers situation, guys. So at the end of the day, don't just pick a narrative of yours, a little segment, and act like, oh, we're picking on Rashford, because we're not. All right? But at the end of the day, some players deserve a little bit of criticism, for goodness sake. Oh, you make born and bred. You know what I mean? Don't listen. Don't come in here and let me tell you about the birds and the bees, guys, because my friend. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You have no clue. Helge, Without a striker, if we have Dorgu, Ahmad, Bruno, Mainu, etc. within Bruno, Cornet, and Xerxes, we will score many goals. Of course, I want a striker and expect one, but we will be false 100%. We will be a lot better, Helge, absolutely. Salinho and Amram, come on, big up, my friend Helge. Love, brother. Love, brother. By the way, Sal, you are truly the one United channel I trust. Thank you, Lee Davis. You're a legend, mate. I've got a lot of love for my community and us as a family. That's why I see it, mate. We spit things how it should be spat. You know, this is how we should be doing things. We don't sugarcoat things. We don't be overly positive, which is basically nauseating sometimes because it has a much more of a bad effect on the football team if you're being toxic positivity. You know, it's great. And thank you so much, Lee, for being part of it. Absolutely. You absolute legend. Yeah. John, just give Osman the bloody money. He will be the Champions League. Come on, John. I wish we could, mate. I wish we could. Good morning, Sal and chat. Big up, Freddie. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Sal, not one pundit or even Liverpool fan had them winning at the last season, and they had no additions to the squad. Mickey, one thing I would say to that, in contact to that, that football team there that Arne Slot took charge of were full of Premier League winners. They've won the Premier League, a lot of them. They've won the Champions League, you know, so they already have in their head, right? And they qualify for the Champions League every season, right? They already have in their head a winning mentality. So basically all Arne Slot needed to do was go in there and press play. That's it. You know what I mean? Because they already had a nucleus of a winning squad, a squad that is used to winning. They won the league. They've got it in their head. They won the Champions League. They've won the cups. Man United have never, with these current players now, there's not one player that's won the league. There's not one player that's even challenged for the latter stages of the Champions League, let alone win it. You know, so there's a big difference there. You know what I mean? And also, Liverpool not won by the Glazers. Yeah, absolutely not. Natty, strikers must be the first to come to our club. We have to buy strikers, whether they sell players or not. I agree, absolutely. Bill, because we finished 15th, is the algorithm giving us a hard first 10 games? If so, we Glazers have... No, let me tell you a little spin on things, Bill. Let me tell you a little spin on things. Look at all the teams that are in this World Club Championship, right? Let's look at all the teams that are in this World Cup Championship. Look at Chelsea, look at Man City. Now, look at Chelsea and Man City's fixture list. Look at their fixture list. Look how easy it is. They've manipulated it to help the teams that are in the World Cup Championship. Trust me. They don't want Man United to do well. Helge, I laugh when Man United say disrespectful to any take away the shirt number of Rashford. I wish they grew up with Ferguson. Absolutely. Stan, Van Nistelrooy, Keane, Beckham, X's. Bloody hell, bruv. Absolutely. Mark Hughes, Eric Cantona, Andy Cole, Dwight York. Well, shall we go on, guys? Absolutely spot on. You know what I mean? These people don't understand levels. And people say, oh, it's a different time. It was a different time. No. Professionalism, yeah, heart and desire, given 100%, is the same in any decade. Right? I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, there was different times back then. No. The only difference these seasons, this time, is their bloody wages. That is the only difference. And their petulance and their snowflake mentality that they can't take a little bit of criticism. You know? That is the only difference. Snowflakes. And that is not a good thing. 60 likes, guys. Can we get to 100 likes by the end of the show? Can we do that, guys? Thank you so much. Sanjay, you legend. Big up yourself. How the F did we have the number 7 to mount? Yeah, that is criminal. Yeah, absolutely. Damien, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I love your channel every day. Damien, big up, big love to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me every single day, my guy. Really appreciate you. You're part of this family, this great family that we have here. Thank you so much, my friend. Big up yourself. Deep Arms, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Yes, sir. How you doing? I'm doing well, Deep Arms. Good to see you, mate. Every time I see you, I think about Palma de Mallorca. I don't know why, but I do. Absolutely. I must be beaches are still in my head. And then they big up Palms. Hope you're doing well. United is too slow. Agree with that. Absolutely lucky. Obers, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Brian in Boomo. Any new update, bro? Yeah, we're just at the end of the day, same as we were yesterday. Look, I'm not going to fabricate news. What I would say is that Man United have put in an offer, a new structure in regards to the payment structure. As I said yesterday, in regards to Man United are willing to pay more money, but want to drag out the contract, want to drag out the payment plan longer. basically. So basically, it's a bit like a loan. So basically, Man United are going into a bank and asking for a £10,000 loan, but want to pay it in 36 months rather than 12 months. So what happens when you pay it in 36 months? The interest goes higher. So what Man United are trying to do with Brentford, Man United are trying to organise a deal with Brentford where they pay it in a longer stretch. But Brentford want the deal fully paid up, almost. Well, not fully, but the majority of the money up front. The reason Brentford want that is because that's going to help with their FFP, that's going to help with their PSR, and that will help with Brentford buying a replacement for Mbeumo. You can't blame Brentford, to be honest, but this is rumbling on, but this deal will be done. Absolutely. I firmly believe that. Everyone, make sure you like the video. Thank you so much, Harold, you legend. Thank you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Damien, I used to DJ for 29 years, and in that time was a promotional DJ for the Ministry of Sound. Big up. The memories, great industry. Big up to you. Big up, Damien. I was in the music industry 20 years, music manager, video director, the lot, handyman, run a recording studio as well. Music industry is a crazy business, mate. Absolutely. I know a lot of people from the Ministry of Sound, worked with a lot of people from the Ministry of Sound, you know, who've worked with the Ministry of Sound. Absolutely. DJ Ironic is one of them I've worked with quite closely. And yeah, big up yourself, Damien. Thank you for joining the stream. Good to have another fellow music guy in the stream, of course. Lee David, 100% agree. Bus United channel with the best presenter with the highest IQ and relative ability. No contest easy. It's a privilege. Mate, you know what? You're making me blush, Held. You're making me blush. For goodness sake, I've got this red light on me. It's going to make me look even more redder, isn't it? Thank you so much, Held. You're absolute legend. Really appreciate you, mate. I'm glad that some people appreciate me. That's all I say. I appreciate you. Really do. I'm a humble guy from humble beginnings, and I really appreciate all the compliments. Thank you so much, Harold. You legend, of course. Natty, Sals, now a day's people take what you said for a word, make it like a big deal. Big up, Natty. Big up, my friend. Absolutely. Thank you. I can't help that. Even if Cunha and Mbeumo plus a striker, my worry now is a midfield. I agree. Ugarte is weak, Bruno. I wouldn't say Ugarte is weak, Tyro. Absolutely not. What we have to understand about Ugarte, mate, is that Ugarte came in without a pre-season last season, and he actually had some man-of-the-match displays last season, if you remember. The inconsistency comes from when you don't have a pre-season. And those who've been in football know how important a pre-season is, okay? Now, this is why we're vying for transfers to be done early, so that Ruben Amorim has a chance to work on his tactics, right? Everyone to a man last season was inconsistent. Every player who played for Manchester United last season was inconsistent. Ugarte gets highlighted for no reason. Even Mainu was poor. You know, at the end of the day, no one knew how to work on the formation and the tactics because Ruben Amorim didn't have a chance to work on them. And Ugarte didn't have a preseason. He came in last minute. You know, so we have to look at that as well. Absolutely. Liverpool had 5 or 6 squads in when he took over. Simple as, it's not even slightly comparable. They had a 5 or 6 squad in the world when he took over. Let that sink in. And also held, some of those players have proven to win the Premier League. You know what I mean? Helge, I still remember the days when Twitter, without Twitter, me too, I just woke up one day and read the newspapers. Man United have sold Stam. I was like, what? I mean, I remember looking in the newspaper hoping that we signed Stam. I remember we're looking at the little segment, you know, the little article. Manchester United have placed a offer for Stam. I remember that. Well, record fee at the time for a defender. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I remember those days, mate. I remember looking in the papers. I remember ringing up the Man United hotline. There used to be a Man United hotline. Actually, you ring it up and they tell you the transfer news. I used to rack up a huge bill. I used to get myself in trouble. You know what I mean? Big up, Lee. John, see City buying Dumfries. I don't know why we're not going after that. Good morning, Grayo. What's going on, my friend? Morning, bro. Hope you had well. Sorry, I've just woke up. I'll rewatch the show later, bro. 206 only 66 likes. Come on, guys. Smash the likes. Everyone, can you smash it? Let's get to 70 likes at least, guys. We've got 265 in the house, guys. Let's get to 70 likes. Let's get to 80 likes. Let's push it up, guys. Thank you so much. Very good for the algorithms and all that, guys. Really appreciate you. Like button and show your support. Thank you so much, you legend. Absolutely. Amule, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Why is Man United delaying their deals yet? Other clubs are already doing them, and Ineos are promised a good days are coming. Ineos are PRFC, Amule. They're PRFC, and they're going to walk to the right destination rather than sprint. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to bite the bullet, and we're going to have to, it's a bit like, you know what I mean, chewing through cotton. Horrible and bad for your teeth, and really, really excruciating. Lee David, Cockney Reds or Skull South. I'm under the original Cockney Reds, mate. I'm one of the original Cockney Reds, mate. Leytonstone like David Beckham. I'm one of those original Cockney Reds, mate. Cockney Reds. You know David Beckham was a Cockney? You know the guy who assisted Man United to a treble? Probably the player of the year in the treble winning season. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of them guys. Andy Cole, you remember him? Cockney Red. You know what I mean? You remember him, Andy Cole? He was a Cockney Red too, wasn't he? He was a Cockney Red. Definitely, he was one as well. Absolutely, he was. Yeah, Rio Ferdinand, do you remember him? And also another Cockney Red over there. Absolutely. In fact, you'd be hard-fetched to find a Mancanson in the Man United team. So there you go. Helge, what people don't understand about the midfield, it should be Stretford, yes, but our defense is actually solid. I agree. And when we attack more, everything becomes more solid. Less ping balls. Especially if Cunha and then Bremo are in the team. Absolutely. Spot on. Helge, so basically when we spend a lot more time attacking around the opposition 60-yard box, when we naturally become more stable. I think the midfield will work better when people assume it. I think it will work better. Everything will be better next season. That's not to say we don't need a midfielder. Of course we do. But I do think the priority is the goalkeeper and the strikers. If we can get the goalkeeper sorted out and the strikers, I'll be a lot more comfortable. I do think we need a right wing back. I don't rate Dalot, but you know what? I'm not going to go there. If I speak, I'll be in trouble. See, facts. Is it 3-2-6 as well? 3-1-2, 3-1-2, 3-2-6? Yeah. I remember those days. Absolutely. We're old enough to remember that, CJ. Absolutely. 70 likes. Come on, guys. Smash a like. Thank you so much. Take 2 seconds. 70 likes, guys. Amazing. Can we get to 80? Am I being too sport? Can we get to 80? We have got a lot of people online, guys. Come on. Get it on. Elge. Our midfield, both with Ten Hag and Amram, often got exposed because of the attack last 2 hours, absolutely giving away the ball. And we were always running back and forth. Next season, we'll look very different, I think. I think so, Helge. I don't think it's as doom and gloom as people are making it out to be, but we have to get the signings through the door to do that. In Mbumo and a striker. If Man United get Mbumo and a striker, a good striker, right, not Calvert-Lewin, if Man United get those two, Man United would be cooking. Man United would be cooking anyway. If Cunha and Mbumo, it'd be fire. But if Man United get a striker as well in the mix, imagine we got an Osterman or Gyökeres. Imagine that, Helge. I know, we'll be scoring goals, mate. We'll be scoring goals. You know what I mean? Just Cunha and Mbumo. As I've always said, football doesn't deal with simplicity like that. It does take a spark to ignite something. Man United's team's not shit. Man United have good players, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. But what it is, they don't have a team. We don't have a team. We have a bunch of individuals that, are running all over the pitch and winging it, so to speak, and don't have a plan in regards to scoring goals, just as evident in the Europa League final, of course. You are a Surrey Red, and now I'm a Surrey Red. I lived in Surrey for a long time, Darren. I lived in Dorking in Surrey for 2.5 years. 2.5 years I lived in Dorking. Lovely part of the world. I lived there. Yeah. Lived in a house, a very big house in the country. Absolutely, I did. Absolutely. Not very big, but. Do you think we'll use Ahmad and Dalot on the right wing back? People are too obsessed with where does X fit in. Different setups and different positions, injuries from. Absolutely. I just don't think that Dalot's good enough. And I don't think that Ahmad is defensively astute enough, Helge, if I'm being honest with you. I think we're caught in the middle somewhere. We need someone who can do both, ideally, which why Frimpong would have been a great signing. I like Vanderson, someone like that who can bomb up the wing, cross the ball, run back, do that. I like Ahmad. I think he can get forward and all that. I don't think he can defend. And that's my worry, and he's too small, in my opinion. I think Man United need another wing back. They do. But maybe we might just obliterate teams. Maybe we might go out there and we might just absolutely destroy teams and blow it out of the water. Absolutely. So how many players will sign realistically? For me, 4 realistically, maximum. Realistically. That's what I'm saying, guys. But that can change in a week. Close enough. Darren, Oz, Red now. Big up, Lee. I think we'll use Rowe against a lower opposition. Yep. The Managerial Dalot against the better ones. I wish we'd sign Frimpong, Vanderson, better Quenda. We'll never know. I mean, absolutely. People underestimate how important this right side is. I think we're relatively sorted on the left side with Dorgu. I think this right side would have been great if we brought in a Vanderson, a Quenda, someone like that, Frimpong. We're crying out for that because this formation, you require it. Naturally, when you have that formation, you're going to have to defend. And I don't think that Ahmad has the strength to do that. He's not the athlete to do that. I think Man United, you look at the likes of Carfu, you look at the likes of Roberto Carlos, you look at them, absolute beasts. That's what you need in that sort of formation, with these two players bombing forward, of course, guys. Darren, big up, Darren. Hope you're well. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, you absolute legends. I will be back later on for Chatterbox. Guys, I want to remind that I'm traveling tomorrow. Tonight, really. I'm going, obviously, tonight, but there will be Chatterbox later on. I'm going to try and do a pre-recorded Breaking Dawn, guys, and I want you all to get involved, please, in regards to the pre-recorded Breaking Dawn that's going to come tomorrow. So please don't forget, I'm going to try and upload it. I'm going to try my best, but I am traveling tomorrow, of course, to Italy and Qatar. I'm going there first, then going on to Italy, guys. So I want to say thank you to everyone who's joined me, and I'll see you at Chatterbox, guys, and I'm going to try and basically, bring you that content as much as I can, even if it's short videos. I'll bring you content, and please don't forget to smash a like on the video, and please don't forget to put your notifications on. And please, when I do upload any videos, whether it's a short video, and that tomorrow's just one day, but you know what? Please get involved. Please, very important, and share, like, subscribe, smash it, put a comment on as well, guys. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. I'll see you for Chatterbox later on, and I will be back, guys. Thank you so much, Helge. Take it easy. And I will be back, guys, to bring you that live content, guys. So, see you for Chatterbox later on. Take it easy. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. Peace.